Alright, everybody, I'm back again. Uh, this is mainly for pairs for the pick four. With these, I've changed them around some, got rid of some more stuff that isn't really necessary. Um, just moved the pick three over here more, the pick four over more, to where we can still see it all together. And all the picking stuff in the center. Uh, change down below. Three over here, four over here, and put up the own, give the pick four its own uh, set of this to, we can see the patterns, how there is patterns on the three and the four. You can see that they're there. You've seen all that on the last one with this, but I've just added this so we could have to separate them. What I'm showing this is happening well over half the games for pairs, which is this area here. These are the counters for the negative results of these. This column here, BL, is counted. Each number is counted, and the results show here. BP, which is the added section of these numbers, shows here. This one, the 4 showed up the most, 10 times, in the negative subtracted, and the 1 showed up the most at 8 times for the positive added side. And then this just brings it over. Okay, here's the 4. This will be for this column. These will be for this columns. Here's the 4 that showed up 10 times, 0, and 10, and 0. 5 is the negative version of 0. 4 showed up 10 times. 4, its mirror. 0 for the 10 times, and its mirror. This one does the same thing for these. Okay, now what I'm talking about is pairs. All these you see below here that are highlighted green are without doing anything but putting the numbers in the draw sheet here. These numbers right here, either this one, like this one, let's say we've got the 7 and the 5. There's your pair. Here's your 5 and your 7. There's 8, 9, 1, 4. There's your 4 and your 8 pair. All these that are green do that. So far it's usually 16, 17, 18 out of 30 to 31 games per month that these are showing, that these numbers pair up and show in the hit 4, which is, it's been better than, it's been better than 50% each month that I've tested it. Okay. Now I'm going to kind of show how to use this information to get the ball going on what to pick and add with them. Okay, let's say we take the 4. We've got 4 and 7, which is 7 and 4. Okay, we take the 4 and the 7, because we've got all mirrors here, and the 4 showed up 7 times. Okay, let's go to say here, we'll put 4. Here's the mirror of the counter, 7. Come on. Go back to the 22nd, and it's done its calculating slowly but surely. And you can see that right away we've got the 4s highlighted here in the pattern, which are showing here. if the pattern shows up like I showed before with the 4 and the 6 mirrored to the 6 and the 4, the 3 and the 1 mirrored to the 1 and the 3, it's going to show up in this section right here. Okay, our other numbers that showed up here the most is 6, and it showed up 7 times, which would give us 6, 9, 6 and 7, or 6 and 4 is a pair, or 9 and 7 and 4 is a pair. So we've got our 7 and 4s covered here, and it's showing us on these sections already where those show up. So let's take the 6 and the 9, go back to the draws page, and let's put the 6 here and the 9 here. Come on. It's a little slow. Okay, there it is. And we go back to the 22nd. Alright. Let's scroll down where we can get a full view of the cubes and look for the patterns that brings up. Okay, we see we've got 4 and 6, 6 and 4. Down here we've got 4 and 3, 3 and 4. Then we've got the 9 and 1, 1 and 9, 3 and 1, 1 and 3. Okay, so this one's showing the pattern, this one's showing the pattern. So we know that what we're going to look for is in here. Alright, we've got even, odd, odd, odd on our thing, which that's fine. The 0, like I said, makes the 0 is the kicker with these deals as far as the outcome. Here we can see the 5 1 1 3 1 5, and we can kind of see we see these numbers here. So we want to keep an eye on this section and this section when we're looking at these. But we've got our patterns. This thing will slow down. This is still like it was. I've just not figured out how I want to lay it out in the charts yet. And this part is another area that I've been, since looking at the Pick 4 more, is an area that definitely needs to be looked at and gone through. Anyway, we've got our patterns here. There's the 4 6 4, 9 7 9, 9 7 9. That's patternized. And here we've got the same thing: 3 3 3 3, 4 3 4 3, 9 6 9 6. You can see how the patterns. You can see the patterns. You just have to look for that. All right. Let's see, where was I at? Okay, we want to pay attention to these numbers and these numbers. Okay, let's say right here we have 8 plus 0 is 8, and then we have 0 and 3. 3 is the mirror of 8. And we've got kind of a pattern 4 6 and 7 that's highlighted. And let's say we take this 0, we make it 0 a 5, because 0 is nothing and we need something to get the ball rolling here. Okay, that's changed our pattern up down here. But let's look at these numbers here: 4 8 2 6 8 2. We've got now these numbers have changed too. So we've got 3 paired with 5, or 3 paired with 0, 7 paired with 5, or 0, 4, 5, and 0. That's not what I'm looking for really, but we're just looking at how these numbers here change. Let's go with that. Okay, went from 151315 to 822648. Okay, that's showing us the 4 and the 6 that showed up with just the regular results of 0 there. Let me take that back. Okay, here's the 4 and the 6, and the 6 and the 4 is paired up, so we've got 6, 4, and the 4. The 7 is just the opposite of 4. But these numbers here is what I'm talking about. We've got our patterns down here. Okay, we've got 6 and 4 that we're looking at now because of here, here, and here. There's your mirror of the 4. Here's your 3 and the 8, which these are mirrors, or opposites, I'll say. And then we've got our patterns going up here. Okay, we've got 3s here, and 3s here, here, and here. So let's look at those as, let's put the 8 here and the 3 here, just to kind of keep it positive, negative, and kind of together. And let it calculate a little. And it's going to highlight up the 3s and the 8s in the chart. Okay, now you can see you've got the 7s, the 3s, which is your 8s and your 4s, and here's your 4s and your 6s. Same thing down here, you've got your patterns. Here are, I've added this part kind of. It's just like the last one that I showed, where you're looking up here for your numbers together. Here's your 8, your 7 or your 4, and your 6 and your 9. Your 8 or 3, 9 or 6, 7 or 4. Okay. Now what hit on this draw was 6, 4, 9, 8. The pick 3 was 1, 2, 1. Okay, now we've got our numbers that were drawn over here. They're put in to where we can see them on the chart. If it'll go. Okay, now here's the numbers that were drawn, 6, 4, 9, 8, and here's your pattern with the 6, 4, 6, 4, the 9, and then here's your 3s for your 8. The 8s didn't show up in the positive side, and it's an even number, but if you look, the 8s are over here, and here, and here. The 6 and the 4, or the 6 and the 9 is on neither one of these. You've got 1, 7, here's your 7 with your 4s, here's your 8s, and then you've got your pattern here. It's a mirrored pattern, like I said, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 9 and 1, 1 and 9. See how if you flip this corner up, you've got 1 here and 1 here, and this 9 will be here. The 4 switches would be here, this 3 will be put on there. This 0 would go on this 6. 0 is, that's what I'm kind of talking about with the effects of 0. The 6 and 9 are numeric opposites, positive and negative. 0 and 6, the 0 affects the 9 or the 6 and transforms it into the 9. But that's kind of what I'm looking for. Here's your 4s and your 9s. That's showing that it's actually any of these numbers here that it picks to play, and right here are the 4, the 6, and the 9 from the 6, 4, 9, 8. you can see that on this one, the 121 that showed up in the pick 3 is not really showing. But if you look at your patterns, here is these same two cubes. This cube, or these sets here, and these sets are the exact same. They have the same pattern because they're the same numbers. These are highlighted to pick up the 4. These are highlighted to show the pick 3 when they come in, or to use for guessing. Okay, now if you look, the 1s are not highlighted. They didn't show up. They're not showed up. They're not highlighted here, and they are highlighted here as they're actually as mirrors, but that's because of a conditional formatting deal. Let me change that real quick. When it's a mirror like that, I can't get the formatting to stay. My rules here. So I'm going to put my rules with my priorities to show the winners, and then the mirrors second. Okay, now we've got it. There's the 1 and the 1 and the 1. 1 and 2 are the mirrors. There's the 1, 2, 1. Okay, using the numbers that didn't show up in the patterns here for the 3, and then here's your patterns showing the numbers for the 4. Now the 1 and the 2 didn't show up here, but look right down through here. There's 1, 1, 1, which is 1, 2, 1, or 2, 2, 2. This will be 1 or 2. Okay, now if we go here and switch this 0 to give it some depth and make it 5, and then watch right here compared to these numbers that hit on the pick 4. There's your 8, there's your 4, there's your 6, or your 9, or you have 8, 6, 9, 4. All these have changed also, which there's 1, 3, 1 that's close to that. Like I said, I've seen a lot of dead on, off by 1 dead ons with these, and all these have changed here. And okay, let me just leave that as 5 real quick. Our patterns are gone for the 6, 4, 9, 8, or the 1, 2. All that's gone now, and it was showing it down here in the positive. Now we've got up here where you have 9, 4, 4. You've got 9, 8, 4 from 6, 4, 9, 8 right here. All the 9s and the 4s for that. Okay, here's the 5. I'm going to switch it back to the 0. And you can see how the patterns switch and come down to the positive. Okay, here's your 4, 9, 8 that was down here, which this was full of 4, 9, 8, and then your patterns are back here. You've got your 1s here and your 2, and that's about it on that. But like I said, so far it's showing I gotta go back. Here's the 8, 5, 6, 7. There's your 7 and 5 that showed up here. Your 8 and your 4 that showed up here. Skipped 3 games because of the way the numbers laid out. You have to pay attention to those. There's your 4 and the 9. And actually the 4 and the 6 both hit on this one, so there's 4 and 6, 4 and 9. The 8, we had 8, 6, 9, 1. There's the 9 and the 6, or the 6 and the 9, either one. Both showing here. Here's the 9th, the 1 and the 5. The 10th. There's 3905, there's 9 and 3, 4, 9 and 3. the 11th, which is 9875. Here's your 5 and your 9. 12th, there's 1848, 1 and 4 pairs here. The 14th, 5424, there's your pair of 4s. The 16th, 6566, there's your 6 and 5 pairs. Let's see, 5487, there's your 4 and 7 pair. 18th is 4 and 9, there's 4 and 9, and here you actually have the 5 and, or the 9, the 5 and the 9-0 actually all showing. The pick 3 is working a little different because the way that these numbers here turn out. The whole chart depends on what numbers show here, and that's because of the way that the zeros haven't come into play and have an effect, or like here you have even, odd, odd, even. We've got a 0 there. It's not showing these hooking up with these the way they should, but you've got your pattern straight off here. You've got your 3s, which are 8s. Here's your 7s. If you look at the mirrors, here's the mirrors for 8482. There's 3731. Okay, there's your 3 and the 7, 3, 3, 3, 3, 7, and there's your 4 in the corner. Let's take this 0, make it a 5, just to give it some depth. And go on up. Let it calculate and do its thing. And then here is your 2 and your 4, your 2 and your 4 pair. Here's your 2 and the 4, and your 2 and the 4 pair. So it's something to do with the way that these numbers here lay out. I'm still looking at that, and as much as I can, but you can kind of see it. Hopefully somebody can see it. You can see how this is kind of laid out a pattern. It's not mirrored like it should be, or like the way I like to see it, but you can still see that that's definitely a pattern in the way the numbers come out. And then here's your made some kind of a little square deal with what showed up, but that's basically it. Right here is 8842, 8482, coming from these. There's your 8 and 4 pair with your 3, which is 8, so there's your double 8s with a 4. Here's your double 8s with the 4 and the 2. But I'll get back to these as quick as I can. Let's switch that back so I don't forget again. So I'll put it back. You still got your 3 and 8, which is 8 and 8, and there's your 4 with your mirror for the 1, which is the mirror of the 2. So you've got 8, 8, 4, 2 here, or 8, 8, 4, 2. You can see how I've got them all laid out with the mirrors, so you can see what's going on.